Yizzo!
Hey.
Ooh, who's that?
Hi.
Who is that?
Who's that girl? Dun, 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 dun,
It's one of her
dun.
worst songs.
It's terrible. She really went downhill. You know?
Oh, she didn't go downhill. She
No,
just
she
went
did.
pop. She just went
And
pop,
it
but we
was
didn't want it.
terrible.
We was like, boo.
I want to hear what she says. Let's talk about little dick niggas. I was like 12, 13, like, yeah.
Shanti.
You don't remember that line?
Yo, yes, I do, but I would never start the podcast off with that. This is why you're very necessary in the world, because the shit you do, I cannot get away with. I can't. And I don't even think I would try. It would be so inauthentic
You
because
couldn't say that?
no, it
'Cause
would
you
be
gotta
so
feel it.
inauthentic because I'm so
You
hyper
don't feel
aware
that.
of what. No, I do feel. You've seen me. I'll do it off mic. You've seen me when
should.
Freeway and certain Meek Mill songs come on.
Oh,
I
people
don't know
see
how
that.
they
People
act,
see that. But she
but
went from who's that girl? Bring back that kind of energy, Eve. Nobody.
you.
Hey,
That's her best album. The first one. I don't care what nobody say.
I don't care what anybody says.
That's her best shit.
That was a good album.
It was skits and all.
Everything. Hey, Mimi. Hey, Mimi. Hey, Mimi, you him. That was traumatizing. That's actually a terrible one. Why the fuck you got my son out here with no shirt on?
Everybody go back and listen to Eve's first album, okay?
That's
Some
not
bangers
funny.
on there.
That
Gotta
was
be and still go play about wedding. I don't care. Anyway. Hi, I'm gonna do my updates first. Is that okay with you?
sure.
Oh my God. First update. Blue is using a scratch pad that my mother got her. It only took my mother got that for her in December. No. When did she get that? November. It only November, December, January, February, March. What's now? April. It only took 5 months, but she's using it. And the trick was to put the treats on the pad.
Wow.
I would take her paw, I would do a pretend scratch, she would run away. No treat. And I would do it again. And I would do it again. And finally, one day I knew she was tearing up the couch. I ran out of here or out of my bedroom, ready to just spray her with all the water. And she was sitting on that scratch pad. And I said, oh, good girl. And I ran and gave her a treat and put it on a scratch pad. And then she was begging for treats. Nope. And I would go and put her on the scratch pad. And then she wouldn't do it. And then finally she started to get it. And then she got a treat. Now it's to the point where she scratches it and looks at me like,
yeah, right.
Hello, come on, give me a treat. So that's a big update.
Shout out to Blue.
Mothering is going well over here.
Good job.
Thank you. Shout out to the Black-owned bakery that I can't pronounce.
Oh.
In Brooklyn, Crystal pronounced it. The Pasterie. It was the hot shit. And me and Bay went over the weekend, and the sign was up saying sold out until Wednesday. It was Sunday, child.
Who shouted her out? Crystal?
Well, we shouted her out. Damn, you don't listen to the episodes when you're not on them.
I don't listen to episodes. You listen to our episodes afterwards?
I listen to the episodes that I'm not on. Like if you ever have somebody sub, which is not very often. So no, I don't listen to the episodes afterwards. But like when you had Dash on, I listened. When you had Nada on, you was like, okay, she got it. Whatever. Anyway, it was Black owned.
Let me make sure that everything's up to par here with these. These are master podcasters. They've been doing this shit.
No, or maybe you just would have some interest. Jeez.
No, y'all
not interested.
I'm not,
damn.
I don't have.
Okay.
We'll get to my updates.
Yeah, we'll get to your updates. Okay. Anyway, I went. It looked very lovely. What's crazy is remember my old apartment, the first Brooklyn apartment.
Yeah.
Right on Decatur.
Mm-hmm.
It's right under it's that building, right underneath that building. And yeah. apparently the clip that I played is just going viral on TikTok. So sis was overwhelmed by the support, literally. But shout out to her. It smelled good, so I'm gonna try to get over there again.
Cooking
But
cakes like a motherfucker.
she
She
was
like the Lucille Ball
she
fucking
was like,
classic
"Yo,
episode.
give me a break, y'all." So I think we did a lot to support her, but it was a little too much. But I loved that for her. I love to see that, that's a good problem to have. So hopefully she gets some help and the support stays. This weekend is wedding weekend.
Okay.
One of my lovely Nigerians is getting married.
Whoop,
Shout out to Nad. Shout out to Arlene, my Nigerian and my
Congratulations
Haitian.
to y'all. Us was about to be lit.
Oh, that wedding's gonna be dumb. I was like, what do I even wear to this that I can just ruin? Because at this point, I already know. And I'm not going with anybody. Bay couldn't go, so I don't even have anybody really to cut up with. There's one girl that I met at the bridal shower that she's not from Philly, but she went to Temple and is in love with Allen Iverson. So I hope she'll cut up with me. Otherwise, I'll be sitting by the table alone, just watching everyone have fun and taking videos.
Girl, you gonna be up cutting. Stop. Who are you talking to? I can't
see.
wait to see these pictures.
I just don't know. I don't do that unless I have like somebody with me.
Really?
I've never like solo dolo just acting crazy. No, I'm super subdued because it's like,
yeah. I get that.
You ever like I'd be hyped by myself? Hey, what?
You know people there. You know,
I know people there, but they're most likely going to be with significant others. I hate it here. Also, I would like to thank the community for voting for the Webby Awards.
2 times? I said 2 times.
Not only the Can't Afford Therapy won the Webby for Best Indie Podcast for the People's Choice Award. We were all shocked to see that the Webby Awards emailed us and said, you actually won both Best Indie Podcast Award, the People's Choice Award, and the committee has also voted, and we voted your podcast
Stop
as the
playing
best.
with my girl, all right? Stop fucking playing.
What was crazy was we had a call and Savon was like, I see the value in outlines now. I was like, yo, I will fight you, yo. I love that kid. Not a kid. He's a grown man doing very well for himself. But anyway, and Josh was super hyped. Shout out to Josh for even submitting us. He didn't even tell us. That's a
shout out to Josh for
very
daddy, big daddy energy.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people like, hello, if this is not a calling to come back, we hear the call. We ain't being dumb. So season 3 is in the works.
Inshallah, alhamdulillah.
Stripped down version. Now, we ain't going back in the studio because Savon lives like an hour and 45 minutes away. Josh lives in Jersey. We could just do it over the Riverside and it will be okay. I promise. So that's it. Those are my updates. I'm very grateful. If y'all want to send me a Cash App to go to the awards, it's $1,000.
That's nothing.
What's nothing?
I'm saying people can send you a Cash App. Tell them what your Cash App is because you're gonna go there. Go ahead.
The awards are $1,000, and the actual award, the trophy, the 2 of them, one is $750.
Why are they making y'all pay for that? The fuck?
Because that's how they make money. That's how the awards make money. It's all yeah.
That's
it's
what
like
the Oscars do.
No, I doubt that the Oscars do. The Oscars will probably have sponsors and stuff because they have like commercials and stuff. I don't think that none of them people would need to pay. I don't believe. But the Webby's is smaller and you got to pay to go. If you want a table for 10, it's $10,000.
They ain't gonna have nobody at that award show.
They do, and they do because most podcasts, it's not just podcasts. So the Webby Awards is the best of the internet, the best of the web.
That is really say that again.
The web, okay. But the people that go are advertising agencies, like all kinds of things. There's all kinds of music websites. It's just all internet based. So they have more money. Now we are a podcast. It's an independent podcast called Can't Afford Therapy. And Josh wrote, the president was like, our podcast is called Can't Afford Therapy. Can we please get some discounts? And they were like, no. So, oh, okay. Thank you for the award. They're like, you get that free
First of
sticker to put
all-
on your website to say you want a Webby.
For them to be so prestigious, that is a childish ass name. Webby Awards. What?
First of all, we ain't never gonna win one with you talking like that. Be quiet.
I don't like the way they didn't let
Because
y'all
I
come.
already said I wanted to submit us next year. And here you go.
Well, I'll accept the award to say, excuse me. Just kidding. Sorry, I apologize.
You ain't never gonna polish it. Shanti ain't never gonna polish. Shanti the Amanda Seals of Around the Way Girls. You know Amanda Seals? She said, fuck these bridges. What Amanda say when she had a shirt? She said, fuck a bridge. I ain't never built no bridge. I forget what she said. I ain't built any bridges. Only bridges. I didn't burn any bridges. The only bridges. I only built bridges to get the fuck out of Hollywood or some shit like that. I was like, Amanda, she don't give a fuck no more.
Shannon, we gotta talk about Shannon with her was.
First of all, I have an unpopular opinion, but whatever. What's new? Give us your updates, girl. Lay it on us. What's going on, girl?
I need to take a break. And I'm going to take a break. And I'm going to be taking a break for a month. So that'll be
all of May.
All of May. I am both very overwhelmed and underwhelmed. I am dealing with a lot emotionally that I cannot, like, I'm being forced to grow whether I want to or not. I'm being dragged into a certain type of growth. And my baby Shanti, the little girl that repressed things and avoided things and she is demanding a lot of attention from me right now. And I need to tend to myself in a particular way because I feel very out of control in a lot of areas of my life. And I feel like it's that little girl in me that really needs my attention right now. So I'm going to take some time and do my best to be with her and offer her compassion and hear her out. I've been looking for a therapist. I did intake, but like I did just the initial like, hey, I'm looking for somebody. These are the things that I want to work on, but I haven't been matched with anyone yet. I probably need to be going to multiple sources. But I need a minute. I need to take a beat. And I thank you for allowing, not allowing, but for you to continue on with Around the Way Curls and for you offering without any kind of, what's the word? Just offering space and offering options in ways that I didn't even think was possible for myself, which was shocking to me and also disturbing to me. So yeah. And thank you to the community that hopefully will rock with this little change, little changing Around the Way Curls for this moment. So that's all. That's it.
All right. So, yes, Around the Way Curls will continue in the month of May. As you can see, I'm calling in the
big dog.
Calling folks in. Shanti needed a beat last week, and I said, Crystal, Jane, help.
People loved it though.
Yes, people loved it. Very grateful. And I'm lining up some very dope guests, some very dope hosts as best as I can. So I ask the community for grace as well as I try to navigate the things without Shanti. You will be missed. And hopefully, this time is what you need. In the meantime, in between time, feel free to rate, review, subscribe, and share around the way
What the
curls.
fuck is going on?
No, and I want to be very clear because I know that the I'm not even gonna say that. Well, my fear is that people are going to say we're breaking up, and that is annoying, and that is not the case. So I just want to say that
no, there's no
we not
no unresolved some shit between us.
Yeah, no. So yeah, we're human, and sis gonna take a human break. So with that said, an episode might come out a day late if I can't get a host, and everybody will be okay. We're gonna work it on out, and that's it. I'm fucking flowing. You see me? I'm flowing. Ain't nobody booked yet.
Bruce Lee, be like water.
Ain't nobody booked yet. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but I'm flowing. Okay. I'm gonna call Olay. I'm gonna call Joel. We finna gonna see what's gonna happen. Okay, Nana Obi.
Who else would
Marquise.
You like? Mm-hmm.
He coming back. I'm calling everybody. Jade, Mandy, Fran, you be listening. Where your ass at?
Bring the big bring the big dogs out.
Fran, help. Anyway, yes, it'll be fine. In the meantime, in between time, do you want to do a Patreon plug? You do it so well.
Hey, do you enjoy listening to our voices? You would also enjoy seeing our faces, seeing our engagement, interaction, eye contact, strange ticks, all of that you are able to see on Patreon. Patreon is a video subscription-based membership in which you pay a monthly fee and you get access to all of that plus more. Speaking of which, we have a kickback.
It would have already passed.
Oh, never mind.
We have kickback
coming. Kickbacks be happening.
We had a Patreon
Extra
kickback.
Shit happens. And you have access to it that somebody that is not a part of our Patreon does not have access to. Let's shout out some of those new patrons that have made that change. Shout out to Zakai, Victoria, Gregory, Christina, and Kendra.
And I would like to shout the patrons out because if you can hear and if you can see, Shanti and I have new hardware. We have new microphones. We were having some issues with our Zoom recorders. We've upgraded our tech. We now have new microphones. They're lovely. I think they sound a lot better. And it gives the Patreon community much better quality because it feeds right into the computer. So thank you for that, patrons. Let's keep going. Hot shit.
Listen. Have you heard of Baby Reindeer on Netflix?
You want to know how I heard about it?
Uh-oh. How?
Cardi B just texted Baby Reindeer, and I know what that meant.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, she got a new song coming out called Baby Reindeer. She calling somebody Rudolph. They a lying ass bitch.
I know.
She wasn't red.
Go with the slang. That girl got slang in her. Euphemisms.
I didn't know what it was.
And
then I saw it on here and was like, oh, it's a show? Okay.
Wow. What a remarkable, what a impactful, what a disturbing TV what you call it? TV? Series.
You finished it?
Yeah, I ate that thing up in a night. It's been by Richard.
You're supposed to be going to therapy. You watch it,
this was so good, and when you watch it, you'll see this is so good.
Really?
For therapy, I ain't gonna tell you nothing. I ain't gonna tell you nothing. Terrible. My mom heard it. You don't speak well on your podcast.
Did she
You
say
don't
we sound stupid?
good. You sound dumb.
Wait, didn't she say we sound stupid?
Yeah, you sound stupid. I'm like, Mom, you're racist and you know it. And you know why.
No,
And I ain't gonna tell you why, but you sound dumb. You sound racist. Anyhow, it's written by Richard Gadd. He's a Scottish comedian and writer and actor.
Gad.
And it's starring himself and Jessica Gunning. And it's a story about a stalking relationship or a stalker, but it's actually a deeper story about honesty and healing. And you just have to watch it, Antoinette. It's really good. And I'm really proud of that man and haunted by his story in a lot of ways. And when you watch it, I love to talk about it and unpack some things in it. Yeah, it's funny. It's also just so well done. I think it's up there with Fleabag. You never watched Fleabag, did you?
No.
Oh God, I'm so jealous that you get to watch that somehow. It's up there with Fleabag. It's up there with I May Destroy You. It's up there with like really beautiful stories about how people integrate and explore and navigate their interior world with the outside world, and how hard and painful and beautiful, just heartbreakingly beautiful it can be. Hallelujah. That's my recommendation. Please watch it, everyone.
I recommend Higher Learnings episode called Confederacy Month, the new Drake diss, and Stephen A's apology. Fast forward to the part that I'm talking about. Confederacy Month portion of the episode was incredible. I learned a lot about the Confederate flag and the origin of it, the meaning of it. I've never heard a more grounded argument as to why it is a racist and problematic symbol, and not just something that is a part of our history that we should be able to recall and accept and
reconcile
and remember and honor. It was
people
really
want that. People,
it's called Confederacy Month. There are states that have Confederacy months. Louisiana,
not Louisiana. Oh,
Alabama.
Louisiana.
They have a whole month dedicated to the Confederacy. So it's very interesting. But check that out. Van and Rachel are doing good work over there. So that was super dope. And I took mad notes. So let's take a break. We have a jam-packed episode. Hopefully we can get through all of this. You want to sing? Last time in a month.
Messages.
Wait. This is the last time for a month, Shanti. So
after these messages, we'll be right back. Boop. You still don't know where that's from, do you?
What?
Do you know where that's from?
I thought it was from you.
I gotta send that to you.
Who would it be from?
It's from the Saturday Kids cartoon program.
I was always at dance class on Saturdays.
Oh man.
Oh my God. My sister is so old. I love her. She just sent me a text where she just learned how to, it's like an old person who's sending you a whole bunch of WhatsApp stuff. She just learning how to do new things on her phone and sending them to me.
I love that for her.
She said, look what I learned how to do.
Oh, how you do that?
I don't know, but
not you not know how to doing it. And then
but it's just corny. It's like, what do we need that for? I don't know what it is. That's a sweet being though. I'll tell you that. All right. You ready? This episode. All right. Let me get my mind right. Where's my phone? Let me get my clips together and center myself. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And we are back. All right, y'all. Buckle up. This has been one hell of a week when it comes to politics. One hell of a week. Shanti and I are going to go through this and do our best. I've got clips and we also have pop culture, so let's get through it. All right. First up on the docket, the US, Biden signed a huge funding bill. Okay. $94 billion in total. The bill has $60.5 billion in aid for Ukraine, which is broken up in different facets for Ukraine. It's not all military weapons, but I don't understand all of it. So we just going to say $60.5 billion for Ukraine. The package also has $17 billion in it for additional aid for Israel, despite the growing calls for restricting the U.S.'s assistance to the country over abuses in Gaza, where 34,000 Palestinians are reported to have been murdered, slaughtered. Okay. $9 billion in U.S. humanitarian aid for conflict zones worldwide. To be very clear, $9 billion does not just go to Gaza. It's conflict zones worldwide. I have yet to be able to read through this whole bill because it's long as shit, but I don't know how much money goes to Gaza. I would imagine maybe 1 billion, maybe not even. But worldwide humanitarian aid, 9 million in a $94 billion aid package sounds crazy. $8 billion for Indo-Pacific region, which is military assistance for Taiwan because China is moving in on Taiwan. All right. Hidden within the bill, there is a provision that could ban the social media app TikTok from the United States, which we'll talk about later. All right. We'll get into the TikTok thing. This is going to flow in a particular way. Stay with me. Now, while this is all going on, there have been mass graves uncovered in Gaza. Okay. The bodies of 400 murdered Palestinians have been uncovered in a mass grave that was
And
near.
another.
Right. I didn't say the other one though. In a mass grave that was Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. I hope I'm saying this correct, pronouncing these words correctly, in Gaza. That was the second largest hospital in Gaza. All right. According to the Movement for Black Lives, these graves included handcuffed men in medical scrubs, severely mutilated bodies that appear to be executed and decapitated. And another mass grave was uncovered last week by Al Shifa Hospital, which I believe is the largest hospital or was the largest hospital in Gaza, of almost 300 bodies. When we're talking about mass graves, we're talking about people missing their loved ones, looking for them, knowing that something happened in these spaces and digging. As they've dug, there's just a hole in the ground where they dumped these bodies. They just disposed of them. They're now digging these bodies up and identifying them because in Islam, it is like sacred, like you must be buried. It's ceremonial. You're not at rest. You're not at peace. It's a very, very big practice. And so they're stopping at nothing to find the bodies of their loved ones. I want to play a clip of a journalist who is in Gaza because a lot of people are saying, oh, the mass graves thing, is it even true? Because they're seeing it on social media. And now with AI and everything, people are calling everything and their mother AI. This man is in Gaza and reporting on it. This is the source's Democracy Now! I'm going to play it.
quite shocking, but the account of the loss and the death that led to that eventual mass grave is extremely shocking, where some of the people, like you have just said, some of the people were tied, some of the people had medical accessories on their hands, like the cannulas, and when they were unearthed from the ground, it was apparent that they were buried alive. Some people were tortured, some of the bodies were extremely mutilated, which means that those bodies, some of their organs were taken by the Israeli occupation. Some lost their eyes. I could see some bodies with no eyes. I could see some bodies with no liver, with no kidney. Some bodies that are, you see them like the outer skin is just covering the skeleton, and that's it. So the account of that experience is quite heart-wrenching. The families that have been suffering for the sake of just identifying their dears are also broken. They have been crying, but at least they say, we feel comfortable because we found our dears. So it gives you an insight, a glimpse into the suffering people of Gaza have been living. It gives you a glimpse into the bereavement the women, men, children, and girls in Gaza have been experiencing for the last 6 months or so.
And here's the deal. It's hard to hear him because those are drones that you hear in the background. So imagine that type of also psychological warfare, not only like that's been for since October that these people are dealing with this. We're past 200 days of genocide over there. I'm gonna let you talk. I just want to lay out a little bit more foundation. Israel is burying bodies in these mass graves while US and Western media buries the story.
Mm-hmm. That part.
This is not being talked about.
Mm-mm.
The magnitude of these crimes, and they are crimes of
Mm-hmm.
war crimes,
Mm-hmm.
should be front page worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
But this does not fit Biden and the West's and England and Europe's fucking agenda. And so we're not seeing it covered. And I have another clip. I'm going to let Brianna Joy Gray from The Hill. Their show is Rising. And I've talked about this show before. I think they do incredible work on YouTube. I'm going to let her talk about the influence that administration has had on the media. We've watched Succession. We've talked about Succession. We've watched on Succession how people in power have the ability to put pressure on journalists, on entire networks, to slant coverage,
Mm-hmm.
to kill a story, catch and kill.
Mm-hmm.
So let me play a clip from her because she's far more well-researched than I. And you decide for yourself.
As you know, for months, the media has been working in overdrive to downplay atrocities committed by Israel against Palestinians, while credulously endorsing unsubstantiated and since disproven stories about, say, 40 beheaded babies, mass rapes on October 7th, and Hamas headquarters under now destroyed hospitals. A leaked New York Times internal memo revealed that journalists are discouraged from using the words genocide, ethnic cleansing, occupied territory, refugee camps, or even the word Palestine at the New York Times. And a quantitative analysis by The Intercept conducted back in January showed that Palestinians were mentioned less in the news the more the death toll mounted. And words like slaughter and massacre were used 60 times more when referring to Israelis versus Palestinians, even as the Palestinian death toll reached tens of thousands. New reporting from E. Alex Jung of the New York Magazine details how the ADL's Jonathan Greenblatt openly lobbied MSNBC for more pro-Israel coverage, saying, right on Morning Joe, out in the open, who was writing the scripts? Hamas? And he was successful. As one employee told Jung, everyone put the screws to NBC and MSNBC to change the tenor of our coverage. Another employee told him that around October 7th, context was not welcome. Context was a bad word. Empathy for Palestinians felt forbidden inside MSNBC.
What are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised. I don't know the ways in which media, politics, and again the U.S.'s geopolitical actions aren't always married, and I think that it's I think that this happens all the time. This is not new. This is not new to the war in Gaza. It's not new to Ukraine. It's not new to this era. I think that we thankfully have so many forms of media, whether it be social media, whether it be podcasts, YouTube, that this information and alternative information can be shared. But even that feels like it's under is being threatened in this moment as well. But I feel like shit is just being revealed. The way that the puppeteer behind the strings is being revealed is undeniable, and for you to not see it is intentional. You are intentionally turning a blind eye. It does not add up.
They're intentionally turning a blind eye or being left in the dark.
No, intentionally you're turning a blind eye.
You mean the media, not the consumer.
The consumer who believes these things, the consumer that feels that Israel is justified, the consumer that doesn't. I feel like if they are doing this, what scares me is how much of our information and news is manipulated and influenced. And again, we have, a whole election coming up. It scares me. It really, but it doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting when we talk about the consumer because, like, I think about my mom and she's not on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's not on TikTok. She's not on Twitter. She's, we were having a conversation about the college protests and she's like, oh God, it's terrible. Are you safe? It's so violent. I'm like, that's not true. And so I find myself recording videos from social media and sending them to her, specifically to my aunt, and saying, check this out. And they're like, where did you get this? I'm like, these are from the students that are actually there.
Wow.
Because she's doing her due diligence in her mind. I'm watching the news. Mm-hmm. I'm staying informed. Sources.
Yeah.
And I'm, I'm having a critical thought afterwards, but this is all the information I have. They're all saying the same thing. These are anti-Semitic, violent protests where Jewish students don't feel safe. And she's not seeing, we're going to get into that after this, but she's not seeing the full story or even the other side for the most part when it comes to civil disobedience and when it comes to unpopular geopolitical moves that this country makes. There's only one story that they're telling. What I was thinking of when I was looking at this was, how do you continue to tell this story? It's going to blow up. You just can't, because at this point, there's too many people who do have access to information. And you can see the movement with the young people. We'll get into TikTok in a bit. But Israel having 700 mutilated bodies in mass graves outside of hospitals that they really should have never bombed in the fucking first place, but they'll hide behind the fact that they claim that it was intelligence that Hamas headquarters were underneath these hospitals. Fine. So you got out of it with that one. What is your excuse here? And people are taking folks to task. Reporters, good reporters, are asking these hard questions to our UN ambassador, to England's UN ambassador, and they're saying we're investigating that. So let me get this straight. You're having Israel investigate itself for war crimes. They repeat, Israel is investigating it. And they press again. So the person accused of the crime is investigating themselves. I answered your question. It's like, come on, y'all. Enough is enough. And my thing is, Israel is not making it possible for Palestinians in Gaza to survive. They are still going to move on Rafah. They are preparing for their ground invasion there. These people have no food, have no shelter, have no schools, have no systems in place. Everything is ruined. There's decomposition everywhere, open wounds, famine. How does this get your hostages back? Explain that to me.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying, I know these are rhetorical questions, but these are questions that the world will be asking. Like, hello, what the fuck does this have to do with Hamas? At this point, there is no pathway to diplomacy. How does this prevent more Hamas from being created? How? And what's crazy is, if we think that our news is slanted, imagine the news in Israel.
Yeah.
Imagine the propaganda.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a clip of Netanyahu, this motherfucker, of his response to the college protests in a bit. But to me, it's like, it's so clear that now you have this civil disobedience. Now you have people like, hold up. Just like you said, we see the guy behind the curtain and we want to have some fucking words. Is it okay to move on to the mass protests? All right. So now we have mass protests. We talked a little bit about it last week with Crystal and Jade, but now they've really erupted. You know, shout out to Columbia University students for leading the way. They have a history of encampment. If you don't know about that, look that up. Can't get into it today. I think it was 1968 that they were on their freedom fighter shit and got shit done. But during Passover, nonetheless, which is a Jewish holiday that commemorates the Hebrews' liberation from slavery in Egypt, as the passing over of the forces of destruction, right? Or the sparing of the firstborn lives. If you watch the Ten Commandments, you know that basically it was ordered for the Hebrews, their firstborn, to be slaughtered. Okay. And Moses was saved by putting him in the basket and putting him down the river, et cetera, et cetera. So during Passover, we have massive protests, which I think is so fitting. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Shout out to a lot of the anti-Zionist Jewish students who are leading a lot of these demonstrations, who are coming together with Palestinian students and just students in general. Columbia University, we talked about this. They had 98 school groups all sign the document in which they were demanding that Columbia divest from the Israeli government. But this has sparked all over the place. We've got protests in Texas. USC is going nuts right now. I think Penn just started, and Temple and Drexel, I saw, they just joined up. But I think there's something like 40 some school student protests where they're marching and they're doing encampments. An encampment is where literally they're setting up camp. They're not fucking moving, and they are civilly disrupting the everyday lives or the everyday function of the university, right? There is a misconception with Columbia University specifically. They're saying that all classes are remote. That is not true. Students have the option to go in or to do remote learning. So that's just not fucking true, but whatever. And my frustration with a lot of the coverage because I've been glued to this shit. Been watching CNN, been watching MSNBC, ABC, all the things, right? The coverage is that the students do not feel safe. Jewish students do not feel safe because of these encampments. A lot of these encampments are demonstrating anti-Semitism, yada, yada, yada. Okay. I'm not going to say that there's no anti-Semitism at some of these demonstrations. I'm not there, right? I walk NYU also, we need to shout out. But a lot of, if you go on YouTube, right, with your own eyes, there's a lot of students live streaming and you can watch what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Columbia, for instance, sat there and had Seder, which is the like the dinner that you have for Passover. And we're teaching people what Seder is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the issues at Columbia are outside of the gates because they're only letting students in right now. Okay. This coverage is slanted again, and it's so purposeful. If it's okay, I want to play. And this speech was very long. It was like 10 minutes. So I'm taking clips from it. Okay. But this is a clip of anti-Zionist Jewish New York Times bestseller author and advocate Naomi Klein. She was at Columbia University. And this is what she had to say. And it was amazing. It's a long clip, so just prepare yourselves.
Some of the voices at the Seder in the Streets to Stop Arming Israel that was held at Grand Army Plaza on Tuesday, in the second night of Passover. Among those who addressed the crowd during the Seder was award-winning author and activist Naomi Klein. This is some of what she had to say.
My friends, I've been thinking about Moses and his rage when he came down from the mount to find the Israelites worshiping a golden calf. It is a lesson about false idols. What I want to say to you this evening at this revolutionary and historic Seder in the streets is that too many of our people are worshiping a false idol once again. They are enraptured by it. They are drunk on it. They are profaned by it. And that false idol is called Zionism. It is a false idol that takes our most profound biblical stories of justice and emancipation from slavery, the story of Passover itself, and turns them into brutalist weapons of colonial land theft, roadmaps for ethnic cleansing and genocide. From the start, it has produced an ugly kind of freedom that saw Palestinian children not as human beings, but as demographic threats. Much as the Pharaoh in the book of Exodus feared the growing population of Israelites and thus ordered the death of their sons. Zionism has brought us to our present moment of cataclysm, and it is time that we say clearly, it has always been leading us here. It is a false idol that has led far too many of our own people down a deeply immoral path that now has them justifying the shredding of core commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet. The commandments brought down from the mount. It is a false idol that equates Jewish freedom with cluster bombs that kill and maim Palestinian children. Zionism is a false idol that has betrayed every Jewish value, including the value that we place on questioning a practice embedded in the Seder itself with its 4 questions asked by the youngest child. It also betrays the love that we have as a people for text and for education. Today, this false idol dares to justify the bombing of every single university in Gaza, the destruction of countless schools, of archives, of printing presses, the killing of hundreds of academics, scholars, journalists, poets, essayists. This is what Palestinians call scholasticide. the killing of the infrastructure and the means of education. Meanwhile, in this city, the universities call the NYPD and barricade themselves against the grave threat posed by their own students, asking them, students embodying the spirit of the Seder, asking the most basic question, asking questions like, how can you claim to believe in anything at all, least of all us, while you enable, invest in, and collaborate with this genocide? We don't need or want the false idol of Zionism. We want freedom from the project that commits genocide in our name. We want freedom from the ideology that has no plan for peace except for deals with murderous theocratic petrostates next door while selling the technologies of robo-assassinations to the world. We seek to liberate Judaism from an ethno-state that wants Jews to be perennially afraid, that wants our children afraid, that wants us to believe that the world is against us so that we go running to its fortress, or at least keep sending the weapons and the donations. That is the false idol. And it's not just Netanyahu. It's the world he made and the world that made him. It's Zionism.
Come on.
A
Put
fucking
ether beat behind that.
oh fucking word. And it was longer than that. I had to try to child. That's a 5-minute clip. Apologies, but that was needed.
That's it.
That's it. So this is again a Jewish woman, not a Zionist, a Jewish woman saying, and so many students are saying, how dare you do this in our name? How dare you?
Excuse me, Jewish students are saying that about her statement?
No, they're saying that about the government, about Netanyahu, about us. How dare you say that this is for us, not in my name? I see that a lot in New York. I'm seeing it a lot on, social media, right? You don't see that on the news, but you see it on social media with the young people saying, we are not for this. Many Jewish people are saying, I do not feel unsafe. What are they talking about? Please do not say the president of the school sent police. I mean, and we're in New York. Those kids in Austin were getting fucking beat. These kids are so brave. It's not even funny. Go ahead.
Do you know that the U.S. Police force is trained by the IDF? Yeah. It's just full circle.
Who's the IDF, though? Explain that.
IDF are the
Israeli military.
What is the exact
I don't even know
of that?
But yeah, it's all in cahoots. If I can, just as a demonstration.
Sorry, the Israel Defense Forces.
There you
just
go.
To be clear,
I want to play what Netanyahu's response was to the college protests here in the United States. This is what is pictured. Okay, they have to really realize this is what many Israeli folks are watching. This is their coverage because not everybody's on social media. He's also passed a bill to make sure that what's my Al Jazeera is not played in Israel. So there's a lot of censorship. So let's just see what this asshole had to say. Ready?
What's happening on America's college campuses is horrific. Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. This is reminiscent of what happened in German universities in the 1930s.
Wow.
It's unconscionable. It has to be stopped. It has to be condemned and condemned unequivocally. But that's not what happened. The response of several university presidents was shameful. Now, fortunately, state, local, federal officials, many of them have responded differently, but there has to be more. More has to be done. It has to be done not only because they attack Israel, that's bad enough. Not only because they want to kill Jews wherever they are, that's bad enough. It's also, when you listen to them, it's also because they say not only death to Israel, death to the Jews, but death to America. And this tells us that there's an anti-Semitic surge here that has terrible consequences. We see this exponential rise of anti-Semitism throughout America and throughout Western societies as Israel tries to defend itself against genocidal terrorists. Genocidal terrorists who hide behind civilians. Yet it is Israel that is falsely accused of genocide. Israel that is falsely accused of starvation and all sundry war crimes. It's all one big libel. But that's not new. We've seen in history that anti-Semitic attacks were always preceded by vilification and slander. Lies that were cast against the Jewish people that are unbelievable, yet people believed them. And what is important now is for all of us who are interested and cherish our values and our civilization, to stand up together and to say enough is enough. We have to stop anti-Semitism because anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine. It always precedes larger conflagrations that engulf the entire world. So I ask all of you, Jews and non-Jews alike, who are concerned with our common future and our common values, to do one thing. Stand up, speak up, be counted. Stop anti-Semitism now.
So if you're someone and that's what you're being fed, how would you not believe it? Media controls the mind, baby. How could you not believe it? There's another amazing piece. I believe it was on Channel 4. I'm going to shout out the news sources. Democracy Today, Al Jazeera, Channel 4, Higher Learning, Mark Lamont Hill. I'm forgetting a bunch. And then, of course, I still watch CNN to know what the fuck they're saying, what the spin is. I still watch Fox to know what the fuck they're saying. The Hill, The Rising, The Daily. Check all those things out and come to your own conclusion. But anyway, I just don't know how you don't believe that. Oh, what I was saying was, apologies,
What
on
do you
Channel
mean?
4, how if you are 70 something years old living in Israel, you're not on TikTok, you're not on social media, your president is telling you this. How do you not believe it? And your new media cycle is telling you this. How do you not believe it after you just experienced that atrocity, that attack from Hamas? How do you not fucking believe it? The media controls the mind, dog. There
Does
was
the
a
media
soldier.
control the mind, or does your moral compass control your mind?
Here's the thing. I think that your moral compass is informed by the media. Truly, because there are so many things. We feel the way we do. I'll speak for myself. I feel the way I do from the information that I've either been given or sought out. I felt a very different way about about a lot of things before I actually researched them. I think that we're all gullible to narrative, and these people are so highly skilled in controlling the narrative that you have to actively seek out truth and understand what the truth is. And I just don't know if everybody has time for that, if everybody knows even how to do that, knows where to look. And at this point, I can understand why you don't even know who to fucking believe.
I mean more of your moral compass and what the basic things that Naomi mentioned of thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. This idea at a very primal, instinctual, spiritual thing of like, if I hit somebody, do I hit them back? Or how do you deal with this idea of punishment, this idea of what justice is? These are like things that I feel are very human and existential, and what cannot, if you stand 10 toes down in it, cannot be. Of course it can be, but I wonder, if you're a 70-year-old woman that is rooted in this, and there are many Jewish and Israeli, Israeli people that are like No, I'm rooted in this deep moral truth with a capital T that no media, I can't be swayed of. Like, this is not how we treat other humans, that usurps and is the undertone of everything.
I guess, and of course, I'm not speaking for all Israel. I'm just trying to make a point about the effectiveness of media. I guess the same way that I would, it's the same. I could pose that question, right, to a very right-wing conservative Republican who believes in the Bible thumper, Christian down, church multiple times a week, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, but believes in the death penalty, believes in their guns,
right,
goes to their war.
Right.
None of us follow it to a T. You know, I feel like people's moral compasses are intact until they feel what they have is threatened.
Well, isn't that
it's a lot of thou shall nots over here. I will never forget 9/11. Miss Boutani's class, 9th grade, Kappa, boom, sitting in there watching it. Mr. Whaley on the intercom telling everybody to stay in their rooms, turn the television on. I will also never forget going home when my father was away. So when he finally got home, it was the first time he felt patriotic. It was the first time he rallied and was like, they can't do this shit to us. It's different. That's what I'm saying for many people. For young people, I feel like we're hip to some shit where we like, hold up, though. All them bad, everybody's bad. But there is this tribal, we going to war. And we're Americans, and nobody does that to us. It's this empire shit. And I feel like that exists in a lot of places. I don't think it's right, but I do think misinformation is so powerful.
Oh, yeah. Propaganda is real and has been used for time immemorial, and it's not going to stop. And now with technology, now with AI, now with the way, are you fucking kidding me?
AI ruining rap beefs. Imagine what it's going to do for this election. We'll get into that later, but child, the ghetto. We're living in the ghetto. Listen, this world is riddled with the remnants of empires that nobody ever thought would fall. Okay? I think we're on the brink.
Oh, we're experiencing it.
We are experiencing it. This is the culmination of all the fucking things that we have done and put out in this world, and all of the ways in which we have continued to chug along in the most unsustainable of circumstances without really dealing with them.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. You guys.
No, it's going to carry it on to a whole nother direction. So, McKeon, go ahead.
All right. I do want to say that I'm trying to get some people on the podcast. Trying to get them. I wrote a little email. They ain't respond. I'm going to try to call tomorrow. It's called, and I want folks to look this up, the collective tax protest, because I'm at the point now where I'm like, all right.
Listen, when I saw you put this on, I said, it's going down. Antoinette said, oh, fuck that.
No, because listen, I'm sick and tired of not feeling like I have anything I can fucking do.
No.
These kids are doing it. You know, I went down to one of the protests. You're not really allowed on the fucking premises. Fine. All right. But there's something we have to collectively do.
Talk about it.
You and I both had to file extensions for our taxes. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is legal, but I want to interview these people because I think they like, we'll deal with the ramifications. I don't know, y'all. But our tax dollars, that $95 billion that went on over there, that's our money.
That's our money.
That's our money. That we will be jailed if we don't pay. And we get no say. They claim we get a say in what's done with it because we vote the idiots in Congress and in the House in the White House, right? We vote them in, and then they run amok. Okay? So there is the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee, the NWTRCC. It's a coalition of groups and individuals across the U.S. working to maintain and build a national movement of resistors to military taxes. The NWTRCC opposes militarianism. I said that wrong. Militarism, war. They quote, "We refuse to be complicit in paying taxes for such violence." War tax resistance methods include refusing to pay federal income taxes, redirecting tax money to community needs, supporting peace tax fund legislation, and living in ways that eliminate tax liability. Listen, National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee, I really want you on the pod. Please come. This is a great space. I want to hear from y'all. Please. I'm going to call. I'm going to write.
I feel like first thing you got to do is you got to get a bunker. And you need about 4,000 units of string beads.
Because here's the thing. Imagine a national collective tax protest. Y'all can't do shit. We thought the Montgomery bus boycott was bad. Let every motherfucker be like, I'm not paying my taxes.
You know what, Antoinette, that would be civil war. You know what I mean? Because I think what we're seeing and
it's civil war already. What
we're seeing and how they are responding to these protests is that they bring the police out.
Horses, military,
becomes a police state. China didn't become China because niggas just surrendered. You know what I mean? They were beaten down.
We got to do something.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, we have to do
but
something.
But they
ain't gonna be like, oh, okay,
no, I don't think they will.
I will kill you.
If these kids can sleep outside in an encampment, it's fucking cold in New York. Okay, if they can sleep outside in an encampment, get arrested, out there, and we can research this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can get off our asses and do something, because it's just like what we talked about with Crystal and Jade. Listen, what are we willing to lose? Mm-hmm. What are we willing to give up? Mm-hmm. These young people are showing us they are brave. While we talk about it, mm-hmm. there has to be something. I mean, what all I could do was send some fucking donated to some shit where people are sending food into the school. They need it, and blankets, great, but like, it still feels cowardice. It still feels like these people are putting their bodies on the line. These kids are being evicted from their housing, meal cards revoked. There was a young woman talking about how she is lower income on scholarship. She was suspended. Her shit was deactivated, and she was kicked off the campus within 15 minutes in New York City with no place to go. And the collective brought her into their apartment. They're housing 3 other students and feeding them. Because thank God they're being strategic. A lot of the students who are getting arrested are from families with means, so they can get out and they can do their thug thistle. But that's how I'm so sorry. That's how a lot of these people they're in this place has us in a chokehold, because it's like, I can't afford to be suspended. I can't afford to lose my job. I can't afford this.
Yeah.
So what can we do? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, you're right. Please, I bring them on. What, you going to reach out to them?
No, I'm going to reach out to them, but you going to be on break, bitch.
Well, I'm listening to this one.
I hate you. All right, real quick. Biden's attempt to sway young folders equals money.
Oh.
All right. So obviously we see college campuses erupting. Biden, I don't know what the fuck you finna do to try to get reelected.
Ooh.
Reelected.
Ain't erecting nothing, child.
Yo, no, child.
Shut up.
Might get tricky. Shout out to Jill. But listen, National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee, we're more serious than that. I apologize. So Biden attempts to sway young voters. Listen, two things can be true at once. He could be a genocide Joe and also be passing good legislation and getting shit done. Non-compete laws. Do you know about non-compete laws?
What you if
All
you
right.
work at
So
one
yes.
work
Cool.
at one place, you can work at another.
So let's talk about it. So a non-compete agreement is a legal agreement or clause in a contract specifying that an employee must not enter into competition with the employer after an employment period is over or during. These agreements also can prohibit the employee from revealing proprietary information, fine, or secrets to any other parties. Many contracts specify a certain length of time when the employee is barred from working for a competitor after employment. With that said, guess who uses non-compete laws the most? Who would you think would use a non-compete law? Like when I think of non-compete laws, I mean, I think like Apple would have you sign some shit and say, no, you can't go over
The
there and work
government?
for the government, or like, no, you can't just hop, skip, and jump over to, I don't even know, PC,
Yeah, I don't know.
right?
Yeah.
Fast food companies have the most non-compete
Oh,
laws.
that makes sense.
Why would that fucking make sense? These are people who make barely, they don't even make minimum wage, or yes, they do. They make minimum wage. And now you're saying that if I lose my job at McDonald's or I need to leave McDonald's, I can't go hop and skip and jump
Oh,
over to
excuse me, I didn't
Arby's?
quite understand that. I thought like the secrets of the trade, like the that type of shit.
No, that's what I thought. Like somebody higher up. No, veterinarians, fast food employees, doctors, nurses, non-compete laws. So this was impacting folks to the point where they weren't. Now, the way that you get better wages often is that you go to a competitor, they give you an offer, and you go back to your place and you say, you either gonna match this or I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
These people were not able to do that because their non-compete laws were in place. So essentially, what is being argued, fuck, I didn't write down the right note. Right, here we go. What's the name? FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, has ruled that they are banning non-competes for many businesses, not all businesses. This is also going to definitely be litigated because this shit ain't just going to happen. People are going to have lawsuits against this. And usually the corporate interests win. The businesses fucking win. So a lot of people feel like, all right, Joe is just doing this to say, hey, I tried, but look, these Republicans and their fucking Republican ass, these judges and shit that were appointed, they won't let me do it. But I'm trying because I hear y'all. So it feels like a bunch of smoke and mirrors. But it's insane. I had no idea.
I don't understand that. There has to be some reasoning behind
the reasoning. So it helps the corporations benefit because it keeps the wages down. You can't go to a competitor and just say, hey, they're going to pay me this. So it also helps them with their proprietary information. You're not going to take the recipes from Chipotle and go use them somewhere else. Fine. But the effect of it is that people can't ask for higher wages because they don't have the other offer over there saying, hey, they'll pay me this. And so that's why the FTC is cracking down on it. There were veterinarians saying that they were stuck in a job because they couldn't move out of the area.
Why that area of work?
I have no fucking clue. Just to keep the cost down. There was a veterinarian saying they were stuck living in a certain state until their kid was done school and stuck making a certain amount because they had to go to another state according to the non-compete law in order to get the other job and then be able to get a higher wage.
For healthcare, that's major.
Major.
For healthcare, that is major.
But it will most likely be killed in the courts. We'll see. Another Biden thing where his administration, millions more salaried workers will be eligible for overtime pay under a Biden administration rule. So Obama also tried this. 21 states filed a lawsuit against Obama, and the conservative judges struck it the fuck down. So a lot of people are like, another political move to show voters what his intention is, but also to expose Republicans and show that they want to keep us poor. I don't know. I don't know what to say. This shit a mess. I'm gonna keep going though. Can't fully get into it, but shit we need to pay attention to. The TikTok ban.
TikTok ban.
That was snuck into that bill, that aid bill. Had no business being in there, but you know, that's what
by the way, TikTok sell your
that's what
shit
they do. That's what they do.
to us.
And
so
both
that
sides
we can get
do
this
it.
information.
Both sides fucking do it. They said China got to sell the company or this is no more TikTok. Biden seems hell pressed to alienate the youth vote. Just like, but this is also strategic because they're saying the thing out loud. You have actual senators, actual House folks saying like House representatives saying like, oh, a lot of the young people are getting their news and information from TikTok and now they're anti-Israel. You just said the thing out loud, sir. You're not supposed to say that. That's like when Jared Kushner was like, yeah, it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation over there in Gaza, but that waterfront property is really valuable. I'd move the people out. And are you kidding? I'm going to keep going because we're just going to go over how this shit's about to collapse. Buckle up.
Collapsing.
Yeah. Supreme Court justices are hearing the Trump immunity case. Justices are not buying the absolute immunity argument. They seem to have signaled, though, that they want the lower courts to identify what specific acts were official business versus private, because Trump is saying all of the business was official business. And they like, hold up, it's not all official business. So they seem that they are going to push this back down to the lower courts. The lower courts will then have to identify what was official business, what's not, according to them. Trump can also then appeal whatever the lower court said, and it'll just circle. And so basically what seems that's going to happen, what's poised to happen is that we will not hear this case until after the 2024 election. And of course, if Trump is elected president, we'll never hear the case because he will throw it the fuck out.
Tricky.
It ain't tricky. He's literally running for office to stay the fuck out of jail. It's absolutely brilliant. Supreme Court is hearing another case on whether or not to criminalize homelessness. Check this shit out. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? And
Get
shout
me
out to
out of this planet, please.
Shout out to Hey Fred Hey in Oregon and Portland over there, because the Supreme Court just heard a case April 22nd brought to them by Oregon, where they're trying to pass a law to fine homeless, unhoused people $300 for camping on public property. I have no money. Okay. A lawsuit was filed by a group of unhoused citizens where they argued that the law violates the 8th Amendment, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. And they are saying that they're being punished as a result of their homelessness, their unhoused status. The Supreme Court has ruled in earlier opinions that no one can be punished based off their status. You can be punished for conduct, but not status. So liberal Justice Kagan, she fucking handed it to, how you say this lady's name? Fannie Evangelis. The nerve of her fucking last name. This is the attorney trying the case who was attempting to equate sleeping in public to a breach of public conduct. And the liberal justice said sleeping is a biological necessity. It's sort of like breathing. I mean, you could say breathing is conduct too, but presumably you would not think that it's okay to criminalize public breathing. So basically, they want these homeless people out. They don't give a fuck where they go. They're not interested in being solution oriented. They instead want to criminalize them, literally, fine them. There's no solution here. Giving them a criminal record would not help them get on their feet by any means. And it's all by design because, in my humble opinion, if you criminalize them, they can't pay the fine, they go to jail, and then you have free labor. Now you have slaves because these people were worthless anyway.
Is Oregon where they did that? So Oregon has a lot of issues in terms of drug addiction, houselessness, type of
Oregon was
social issues that they're wrestling
well,
with.
Portland specifically was the city. Oregon is the state. Portland
Right.
was the city, to recap, that decriminalized drugs, and it did not turn out well for a myriad of reasons. I think did we talk about that here?
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's a lot of stuff happening in Portland that's unfortunate. Oregon, the state, though, and this was not in Portland. This is Oregon. I don't remember the city.
Where?
I don't remember the city. I would like to apologize.
Okay.
I'm trying my best.
That's fine.
You want me to just keep going? Let's keep running this shit down real quick.
That is just.
All right. Supreme Court also hears an abortion case from Idaho. Idaho is one of more than a dozen states that have banned nearly all abortions. Anyone who performs an abortion in Idaho is subject up to 5 years in prison, and medical professionals who violate the law can also lose their licenses. Supreme Court appeared sharply divided on Wednesday over whether federal law should allow doctors to perform emergency abortions in states with near total bans on the procedure, in a case that could determine access to abortion in emergency rooms across the country. Justice Sonia Sotomayor appeared very skeptical. This is the lawyer, Mr. Turner's argument that the state's law allows for doctors to make a good faith determination about whether a patient's life is in danger, describing a patient whose water broke early, okay, this actually happened, and required a hysterectomy and an abortion. So Justice Sotomayor said she can no longer have children, all right? You're telling me the doctor there couldn't have done the abortion earlier. The lawyer says, again, it goes back to whether a doctor can, in good faith, medical judgment, he was cut off. Justice Sotomayor said, that's a lot for a doctor to risk. So the argument here is Idaho and many states are saying you can only perform an abortion if the mother's life is at risk. Doctors are hesitant to perform said abortions because they face up to 5 fucking years in prison and the loss of their medical license. They are nervous that they will be brought up on charges and not be able to prove that the mother's life was actually at risk. So they are erring on the side of caution and not offering the service.
So mothers are dying as well because
mothers are not dying. Nobody died yet. But what I'm saying is a lot of women are having to go out of state to go get these procedures done. Okay. So we'll see what happens there. Big case there, because that's going to affect all these fucking the 12 other states. Lastly, Harvey fucking Weinstein's conviction is overturned.
I cannot believe that.
By the NYC Appeals Court. All right. Just to recap, the New York Court of Appeals on Thursday overturned the sex crimes conviction against Harvey Weinstein and ordered a new trial. The court, by 4-3 vote, ruled the testimony of prior bad acts witnesses should not have been allowed because it was unnecessary to establish defendant's intent and served only to establish defendant's propensity to commit the crimes charged. What? It's fucking proof.
White people law is weird, y'all.
it's fucking
tricky.
Proof. So Weinstein will not get out of jail. I know a lot of people think he's out of jail. That's not the case. He'll be taken from the correctional facility to the Manhattan court. His trial will start anew. He was very unlikely to be released because he was sentenced last year in Los Angeles to 16 years in prison for charges of rape and sexual assault. But that trial similarly used prior bad act witnesses and has also been brought up for appeal. There you have it, folks. Democracy at work, the United States of America. united more than ever. And the Empire strikes again. I don't know what the fuck to say. Shit burning over here.
It's on
Shit is a
fire.
hot
It's
ass
going
mess.
down. And we fighting tooth and nail to keep it up. We are fighting tooth and nail to keep it up, to keep the American dream up.
It's got to be some kind of way for us not to lose, for
This
us
is
not to literally
all-
lose everything in order to fix this shit. Because I am truly terrified of mayhem. We got to talk some kind of fucking pop culture. Please lighten this shit up.
Beyonce's hair is long as fuck, okay? Down her back. She is the chosen one. She has everything. Add that to your list of reasons why you should hate her.
Oh my God.
Well, why? No, I'm not why you should hate her. And that's not what I meant. But why she intersects with all the things that make people project onto her.
Beyonce is literally the poster child for people hating on you just because you're loved.
Right. Just because you got everything.
I thought about you immediately. I was like, what this hating ass bitch gonna say? She gonna say that's not her hair. I saw people like, no, that's not her hair. That's implants. She got hair implants. It's thicker than normal.
I am
like,
obsessed with Beyonce enough to know that ain't the first time I seen her hair and watched a video of her hair a bajillion times.
We ain't see it that long and them curls. We ain't see that.
Damn, she got everything. She let us know real quick. Tina let us know.
The petty. It's so petty and beautifully orchestrated. She's like, now that you all know that Sacred works on all hairstyles, I can show you how it works on me. Because she was like, I don't want this brand to be associated with me. It's smarter business-wise for the brand for us to establish that the brand works on all different kinds of hair so that this shit can live on without me. Brilliant.
Can I just say something though?
What?
We know enough about hair to understand that products are important, yes, but your hair is not going to grow like Beyonce's if you do not have proper care, aka protective styling. Okay?
Products help.
Sure.
That's a part of care.
The most important thing is that your natural hair is not facing breakage and constantly manipulation and heat. For real, those are the pillars of long hair.
That's it.
And don't nobody want to. Nobody
some good
has
trims.
A wig to. She's still selling something to us, and we got to be honest about it. But that girl,
what's she selling?
Sacred cannot make your hair grow like that.
I don't think she's not saying that though. She didn't say that. She said, I avoid heat. And just because I wear a wig, everybody tried to tell me I don't have no fucking hair. I got fucking hair.
Who thought
the misconception is that people who wear wigs don't have no hair. Well, watch you work.
Cardi B proved that to us as well. Cardi B hair went to like what? When she had her hair, when she was manipulating, she had a little leave out, and then she put a wig on. Cardi hair like Beyonce's.
I don't think that I don't think what Beyonce is telling us is that Sacred's gonna make your hair grow like this. I really don't. I think she was intentional in not showing her shit, but then she got fucking heat for that. We need to understand how we're not fair to her either. I have never asked the motherfucker behind Pantene Pro V to show me their hair.
I don't
never.
I wasn't privy to that part of the internet that was like, that ain't her hair. Like,
everybody was on that shit. How's she going to have a hair product line and she wear wigs? We ain't never even seen her hair. Her shit don't work.
I might have said that.
Yeah, you did.
I did say that. But I knew she had long hair. I never thought Beyonce was bald headed.
I'm going to say this.
Beyonce bald headed. You wish.
Nothing in me thought that her hair at that Sacred event wasn't a wig because it was too perfect. I was like, that's gotta be a wig for me to feel better about myself. And it's a fire ass wig. When she took that picture with Crystal and Fury, I was like, oh yeah, that wig is bomb. She got it pulled up and everything. To find out that was her hair, It made me want to go to Turkey and like get some implants in my head. I gotta be honest. Make the shit a little thicker. Help. Or get a wig. I want a wig. Jazz said she gonna make me one. She did.
I do not want to see you with the wig.
She said she gonna make me a wig. She said
I
she
really
tried to
don't
make one
want
for
you to.
Miss Pam. And Miss Pam said it was ugly. But she said I could try again. I said do it. And I want it to be blonde. Honey, brown, and blondes. Full Beyonce. And I'm gonna name it. And when I have it on, I expect you to speak to me right, speak to be nice, and call me by my new name.
What's
And
your
when
new
it's
name?
all, I haven't. When I see the wig, I'll name her. If it's blonde, it's Dolly.
No.
Dolly.
No.
Only. Yes.
No.
Yes. And when you
Dee Dee.
get a wig, I'm gonna call you something else.
I won't. I'm getting me some hair extensions, baby. Some clip-ins.
No, not extensions. That's
I ain't getting no wig. Like, I don't have a forehead. You know what I mean? People that don't have foreheads, you can't actually wear wigs because you look like Nicki
no.
Minaj.
You can't have a baby hair on the wig.
Let me see. Nicki Minaj ain't got no forehead either. And
For
her
real?
wigs,
All
her
she do is wear
frontals-
wigs.
But she ain't got oh wait. She still got more forehead than me. The closest person to have a forehead to me is like Zendaya.
Zendaya don't have. She wears wigs.
Zendaya ain't got no forehead. Look at Zendaya.
She wears wigs, Shanti.
Zendaya
ain't never gonna talk to us
that.
either. Oh yeah, she got a little extra.
God
damn.
Forehead too. But
Yo, you got a forehead like.
Yeah.
Well, Zendaya's beautiful. She got a little ass forehead though.
Yeah, she got Neanderthal forehead too.
Maybe that's your cousin. She wears wigs though.
She does. So maybe I can do it.
So I think you could do it.
But like you gotta have Beyonce Zendaya wigs. You can't have Jasmine made wigs.
Yes, I can. She gonna make me a good wig.
That doesn't work. Shout out to Beyonce. Shout out to Miss Tina who's clapping and coming at everybody. She posted a
that Cat Williams
Cat
interview.
Williams clip. Let me tell you something. You know what I remembered? You remember when Solange attacked Jay-Z? I don't think we talk about that enough. And that comes, Miss Tina.
You get on my nerves. You never gonna let me be friends with this family.
No, they listen. Solange a real one.
Solange's hair is long as shit. So I don't even know what we talking about. Why did we not think Beyonce hair was long?
Is her hair long as shit?
Solange, I think so. I think Solange got a whole lot of hair on her. I could be
We
wrong.
gotta see your hair now too, Solange. You
See?
kept them. You bald headed too.
With us.
But I think what is tricky and tender is and will always be, especially for black women, is the value that we put into length.
Yes.
Over short hair, and the fact that she had to prove something, and then she was like, and I did everything you've ever wanted in your life. Your hair stopped growing when your mom permed your hair when it was 12. Me? We're not the same.
We're not the same.
You'll never be like, name one thing. I'm 10 times, but I got it.
She said,
I was just born with
tried
it.
to avoid this. I tried to
did.
avoid shitting on y'all. I tried to avoid calling
She
y'all
said,
bald headed.
I got horse. You know why? This horse is in every single one of my promotions. I got horse hair, nigga. You see how thick it was?
That thick ass beautiful hair. I was like, you gotta be kidding. And it was bleached.
And it's bleached.
And it's still healthy. Shut up, girl.
She's God's chosen one. She drank blood or something. Like something she got, like, God loves her. She's directly connected with God
too. It's just different.
Just differently. Like how you treat your kids. I love you too. Just differently than Beyonce.
Beyonce called us bald headed. And that's all right with me.
Beyonce
She called us bald headed. It's all right.
Your hair long, Antoinette.
No, it's not. It's short now. And I'm embracing it.
It looks really good.
It's kind of curly too.
No, I was watching the video with Jade and Crystal, and I said, "Look at that thing."
Oh, it really works with the headphones. I need to start wearing a damn headband. The headphones lift it up and really make it cascade in a certain kind of way.
You should just have headphones all the time. That'll become your trademark.
It'd be like DeRay's vest.
You got different color ones. They got
Yeah.
little patterns on.
Yeah, headphones all the time. What's
You'll
up?
be podcasting.
I really want to talk about this because I feel my fear is that no one else will want to talk about it with me when you go on your break. Will you talk about it with me?
Yes, this is my baby.
Do you want me to set it up?
Go ahead.
Gerard Carmichael. This was the episode I was waiting for. I told you I was more interested in the family aspect. And boy, oh boy.
We didn't even get to his mama.
A compelling, interesting. If y'all are looking at social media, I'm sorry, I live in the ghetto. Hold, please. It's just getting
Chaos
louder.
unraveling.
It's just getting louder and louder. Okay. If y'all are only looking at social media and letting social media tell you that this show is unwatchable, that he just licking white toes and having bad slave jokes, it's just not true. It's half true.
Half true. 25% true.
But duality is a thing.
25%.
This show, I think, is a display of dysfunction and as a result of avoidance and all the things unsaid. And I think it's a therapist, psychiatrist wet dream. I think folks who study psychology are watching this and are just like, wow, what a fucking mess. What a beautiful, human, ugly, sometimes halfway beautiful mess that I get to watch and dissect. So let's jump into it. Gerard, this was episode 3, 2, 4. I don't know. 4. He goes on a road trip with his dad. His dad is seemingly meek, kind of avoidant.
May I interject for one moment?
Of course.
He says that he never talks to his dad.
Yes.
He never talks to his dad and then invites his dad on a road trip that was maybe like 3 days. I actually don't know the days, but like multiple day road trip with his dad to go see his father's family.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important.
Okay.
He goes from 0 to 100.
He says he talks to his mom and his dad is sometimes in the room.
Never talks to his dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He starts off, and they're in like an RV. He starts off kind of antagonizing him a bit, where he's like, "Do you want to see my?" He's asking him about, him being gay, how his dad feels about it, and his dad is kind of doing all right, in my opinion. I was like, "Oh, it's not terrible." He's like, "Oh, if I said those things, if I didn't support you, basically, I'm sorry. You my son, I'm gonna love you regardless." And then, Gerard is like, cool, because y'all had said that I was gonna go to hell. So it's tricky. And he's like, did I say that? And then Gerard is like, do you want to see my boyfriend? He shows a picture of his boyfriend in his drawers.
White boyfriend in his drawers.
And his dad is driving and looks over and just is like, looks at it as like, okay. And his dad doesn't really bite, but his dad isn't angry. His dad is more uncomfortable. The cameras are on him. He doesn't really know what to do, in my opinion. That's what it seems like. And also like processing.
I'm also like, what the fuck?
Yeah, processing. And then Gerard goes into explaining how his dad could be a daddy and explaining the gay terminology for daddies, bears, otters, twink. These are all the type of men that he's talks about in the gay community, right? But then Gerard confronts his father about his cheating.
His father's cheating.
Right. His father's cheating. And I don't want to play another clip, but I kind of want to play this clip. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Y'all
have to hear this shit because to set it up, Gerard's dad was cheating on his mother for, he said, at least 35 years, which is absolute insanity.
And had children, cheated on his mother, had 4 children outside of the relationship. He had a whole separate family some of which attended school with Gerard, which Gerard did not know that his brothers were walking around, but the community knew
Right.
that his brothers were walking around until it was revealed to him. And then Gerard told his mother and basically snitched on his dad, which is something that he processes on his first stand-up series called Rothaniel. Is that right?
I
Is that
don't
called
think that's his.
Rothaniel?
I don't think that's his first stand-up series.
But that's the
It's not
name
his
of it.
first,
It's called
but
Rothaniel, right?
Yeah, it's like his third or something.
That wouldn't make sense.
All right, ready? Here's a clip.
Would you say you loved her, or was it just like sexual, or was it, because it was a long time, that's what, like 40 years of a relationship? Was it hard every time? Did you feel like a bad person? Did you feel like you were two different people? Why are you digging into this so deep, son? How you doing this? What's I mean, that's then, this is now. It's not then. Stop saying it's then. It's also now. I thought this trip was gonna be about you and I and bonding. Let's stop talking about my past and move on forward. Okay, I would like to meet my brothers in the future. I'm talking about for it. I'd like to meet them. You got hostility against me. I got feelings too. The way that you don't want to be hurt, I don't want to be hurt. Is this going to be on your special? Maybe, probably, yeah, I don't know. This not to be discussed on cameras. But it's already public. It's public. It's public. You made it public. No, I didn't make it public. You had children outside of your marriage as the most public thing you could do. Like that I want to make clear. I'm not making it public. You made it public. No, and you made it public good. No, now that's childish. That's tit for tat. You made it public. I knew this was coming. I don't even want to get into an argument about it. I'm saying you're being very defensive. You're being very defensive over, and I know you're not even considering if it bothers me or hurt me or whatever. You're hearing on what you want Gerard to hear. How do you think it made me feel to be at a high school with my brother and other people knew he was related to me and I didn't know? How do you think that bothered me? Then you could have came to me. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was supposed to come to you and say, "Dad, you coming to me now?" Yeah, because you would never. So don't criticize how I come if you weren't going to say anything. You weren't going to do shit. I actually am doing something. Your option is no option. So don't criticize the way I do it. If the cameras help me, then they fucking help. But your way is nothing. Your way is silence. Your way is death. I'm not doing that.
His dad finally responds and says, "Can I go home?" What are your thoughts on that? Quickly.
I mean, I think when I first watched it, and as I watch this series, I am fascinated by his interpretation of what vulnerability is, what his interpretation of honesty is, what his interpretation of healing is. I don't quite understand his thesis. I don't quite understand what he's really interested in revealing, or rather not revealing. I see what he's revealing, but what is he trying to resolve? I appreciate the messiness of it. I appreciate the ruthlessness of it. There's something ruthless about it as well, that he's like, yo, I have to do this. I don't know if he is being completely honest. I don't know. I don't know if he's being completely honest.
Who? Gerard?
Gerard. I don't know that him showing these awkward displays, these raw displays are really real, him really being vulnerable.
Mm.
I feel like he is at a level of him being deeply absorbed in himself, and I think that's okay. I don't think it makes him a bad person. I don't think he's a narcissist. I think I've heard people say like, "Oh, I think he's a narcissist," or like he's, he knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's showing how much he doesn't know what he's doing in a lot of ways, but he's moving forward. He's attempting something. Is it completely, unbiased? Is it completely uninfluenced by his narrative or his skew of things or his control? No, I don't think so. But I fuck with it. I fuck with it. I fuck with his process. I don't, the second time hearing that, I don't think I would agree with how he stepped to his father.
Interesting. I disagree with you wholeheartedly, but on that part, but that's fine. I think, I don't know that he knows what he's doing, but I do agree with him that in not saying anything, it's just death. It's not choosing anything. I don't know that Gerard has the tools yet, but I think that what he's doing, I don't know if he's looking for a solution. I think he's just trying to confront and reveal. And like the solution and tools shit is just going to come later. And I think that there's something really brave about that too. I don't know if he's just being provocative to be provocative. A lot of people are saying that. It doesn't feel like that to me. It doesn't. It feels like, one, it's edited, right? So HBO still needs to make a show that is interesting enough for people to watch, that's going to get the people going and going to trend. So we're only getting a glimpse really into what the camera's caught. This specific scene with his father, I was looking up Esther Perel because she talks a lot about infidelity. And she says that when the person who is unfaithful has to then be the observer, the protector of the relationship. They have to like be the person checking in. How are you feeling right now? Is there anything that I can do? They have to go towards it. And until they go towards it, the other person can't get over it. And so I think what Gerard is trying to get is some accountability, because he goes on to say, when he was talking about his family not accepting him being gay, he was like, I wouldn't be welcomed. Me and my partner wouldn't be welcome in the house that I pay for. And I ignored that. That's how much I love my family. So the dynamics are also all off. So he's like, I love y'all. Y'all have hurt me so deep. You don't accept me. You don't see me. You've lied to me. You've made me feel unsafe as a child. I still feel unsafe as an adult. And I still feel like the one parenting. I'm still the one confronting. I'm the one paying bills. And I'm a mess. And I need y'all to do something to help, to be a fucking parent. That's what I'm getting. I think the first 3 episodes was like, I'm a mess. And now we're going to unravel the why. Talked about that. Was it this episode, the what, not the, and the why, when it comes to like therapy? I think we saw the what in the first 3 episodes, and now we're getting to that why. But I think, he said to his dad, there was a point where he asked his dad a question, and his dad responded with another question. He didn't answer it. He said, do you have animosity towards me or whatever? It's like, fucking Just answer the fucking question. Say what it is that you did. As a child who has confronted my father on his own infidelity in that way, I fuck with it. I get it. I really get it.
For whose gain? For what?
For mine.
Well,
I
then,
needed him to take accountability.
but if he didn't, I to me it doesn't offer enough interest. First of all, I think that you said antagonize is a very good word. The way that he's
antagonizing his father, definitely.
That's not like if you want to have these kind of hard conversations.
Wait. To be very clear, I don't think he's antagonizing him in this scene.
No, but he did in his relation, in his showing his boyfriend, his naked boyfriend. First of all, that's not fair to your boyfriend. Like if that were a different sex, like that would be not cool. Why do that? That's weird. Mm-hmm. That is inappropriate. That is not what you should do, first of all. So there's this undercurrent that I feel from Gerard that I'm not saying it's wrong, it's bad, but I think it's undeniable of anger and antagonizing his parent and pushing him, trying to get some kind of response from his father that I don't know that you can do, first having never talked to him. And then going from 0 to 100 and expecting this man who is capable and so shut down that he's done this. He held this secret for 35 years and probably would have held it for even longer had it not come out. Expected him to do that just because you confronted him with your anger. However rightfully you have it and you're experiencing it. But I don't know that is a setting for real vulnerability, real discussion, real peering into his dad and his dad feeling safe and like connected to his son to be like, yo, this is, it put him, he was defensive. He was shut down. It drove him further down, which only is inflaming Gerard even more, and it's not really coming to the space that I think he really wants relief and he really wants to like connect with his dad, and his dad, probably wants to connect with him. His dad said, I want to, I'm scared of being hurt as well, which I think is like a really beautiful offering. And if Gerard had somebody there, if it was just somebody more than him, that could have been an opening to like something else. But I feel like he's so angry, and
I hear you,
and I even feel it's manipulative to put money into it. But I'm taking care of the house. It's just like,
yeah, I don't get manipulative. I think that it's
very manipulative to say. And I'm paying for the house.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. And I think that what he was saying was because his father said, so you feel rejected about the house, about the him being gay. And Gerard was like, yeah, I did. And then he said, do you love your father? And he said, yeah, I do. And he was like, okay, well, I love my son. And then they start talking about that, and he still's talking about how he feels rejected. And Gerard says, like, I love my family so much that I'm not welcome there. And I'm there being the house that I'm still paying for. That's how much I love my family. So I don't think that he put that in his face to say, fuck you, I'm paying for the house at all. That's not what can you listen? Because that's not what I got. I'm just trying to explain. What I'm saying is, I think that what he's saying is, can you see how painful that is? That I'm doing all of this and I still don't feel seen from you. I still don't feel heard from you. Gerard is the kid in this situation. In my opinion, it's not his job to parent them. And I think we're asking a lot of the hurt he's approaching this like a child. I don't disagree with you, but like a child having a tantrum. Him showing his dad that picture of his boyfriend is like, give me a fucking response. Do something. Have a real emotion. And I don't think it's effective. I'm not saying that, but I do see the why. And what I'm saying is his father is the one that wronged. His father is the father. His father cannot prioritize his own pain over the pain that his son is telling him he caused. Yes, you feel pain too. I get it. I might be able to see that more and humanize you if you fucking acknowledge my own pain and my own existence and actually see me. That's what I'm getting from it. Because I'll tell you what, I can acknowledge my dad's humanity. I can be there for him and talk to him, but it would have been, and it was very hard until he looked at me and took full accountability for what he did while he was married to my mother and while he had children. Period.
Right,
like it's your job to do that. You are the fucking father. That's just how I feel.
I feel like they're two adults at this point, and Gerard goes and cheats on his boyfriend. Gerard cheats and lies and does the same thing that his dad does, which means like there has to be
I'm not saying that
like,
he shouldn't be accountable for his behavior, Shanti. I'm saying that we're seeing the why.
Yeah,
and I think he's trying to work through that. I don't think Gerard is perfect at all.
I don't disagree. I'm just sharing my experience. It's not, or my interpretation of it. I'm not sure where you think, and I'm disagreeing with you. I don't know that because it seems like it's a power thing that I don't know that in my interpretation actually exists. That his dad obviously doesn't have the tools to show up as this authoritative, knowing, guiding person. He's showing up deeply damaged, and they're two men, and Gerard has the same through line in him as well, that I don't think his dad is capable of doing. And I feel like hopefully they have to have a lot of, they're probably going to have a lot of conversations around it, and a lot of like commitment that maybe his dad is not capable of doing, and like sitting with that as well and accepting that as well, and also just seeing himself. I mean, I think that's also the scary part of him as well, is seeing yourself and seeing ourselves and our parents shit as well. It's wild. It's wild. And I love that we're seeing this. However, dysfunctional. I know a lot of people are saying that that they feel like they're being scammed, that it does not feel authentic, that he knows exactly what he's doing, and that, which I don't get that from it, but it's really interesting to see everybody's interpretation of what's going on there. I'm excited for the next episode, which is tomorrow, child.
Okay. I was trying to find something, but I couldn't find it. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I feel for Gerard. His dad to me is wildly inept. Gerard is as well, repeating terrible patterns, and trying to break them without a whole lot of guidance. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know if it's. I need to sit with it. I just don't know if that's his job. He can see. I don't know. We don't know them people, but I feel
job?
for him.
What do you mean? I don't think it's his job, but I think it's spaciousness that is hard for him to hold.
No, I'm just talking about his dad. His dad needs to do some serious work to repair that
Absolutely.
relationship as well.
Absolutely.
Because he just avoided it completely. And that's what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking you cheated, had a whole family down the road for 40 years. And I'm not supposed to be angry. I'm supposed to give you grace and you've never really dealt with it. Stop, bro. I think we're asking a lot of Gerard. A lot.
Not grace, but I don't know that in that first instance, eventually grace is going to have to be offered, right? Eventually, but in that first interaction, to expect that to happen for his dad
I
to
don't
do
think
that,
it's the first interaction.
I think it's
but
crazy. Or he may not even be possible. He may not be able to do it, which is like when he talks to his mom, I don't even know what that's gonna be when she ain't even hit the goddamn scene yet. And they like have an actual, from what he says, they talk. They have like a relationship and not just an undercurrent of
she
unsaid
prays
stuff.
the gay away. His fucking family is fucked up. And he's fucked up. And I'm praying for all of them. Anyway.
We don't have to talk about all of this.
No, I think we're done. It's 2 hours.
Oh, we're done? Okay.
Yes, a 2-hour episode. Right?
I don't know what time is this.
Gotta
pack.
It
is 2 hours. Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. Peace to the gods.
Old and the new.
Bye.
Bye.